Hi. Oh, that's bright. That didn't work right. Oh, come on, exposure. Stop overexposing. There we go. We are alive. Hi, I'm Tom. Time for another episode of You Can't Do Role-Playing Games on Salesforce. But you can, and we're doing it. And we are ready, go. Okay. We need screens. We need, aha, here we go. All right, where are we? Since our last episode, I'm going to refresh that. Where are you, object model? There you are. All right, where did we leave off? We have some objects that are they on here? I don't know if they're on here. Oh yeah, round turn. That's our new stuff. And I just noticed that I don't think we have these. Let me see. I don't think we have these updated in the object model. So got to do that. I do want to do a quick, just for formality's sake, let's just do a quick pull request of branch 3 into main. Let's see, wrap up episode 3. Should have done these things before, but you know, just to make it so no conflicts. Cool, let's merge. Confirm. All right, and I guess we can we'll delete the branch a little later. Okay, that's good. Back over in Codeland somewhere. May have closed out the code. Let's see. What do we got? That's not it. That's rock, paper, scissors. There it is. YCDRPG. Okay. Let us. Nope, don't do that. So there's our episode 3. Let's make a branch from. Make sure I'm doing this right. I want to create a branch from back from main now, and we'll call this episode 4. Okie dokie. Oops. We are now into episode 4. All right, where were we? A couple of things need to be updated in the README. That's okay. We'll fix. Getting all bright again. The light in this room is wonderful until you try to manage it on a show like this. I guess we'll turn that back off. And then when I get dark again, I'll turn it back on. All right, so what have we got? Battle Engine. Take 1 was last week. Battle Engine Take 2, or Battle Engine the sequel, is this week. We have the data we need to do the thing, to do the battle. Now I think we need to set up the battle, and we need to continue the pattern that we established here in our flows. There's a lot of flows. But they all build upon one another. So if you call, for the most part, if you call one of these, the downstreams will take place. So if you create a new quest, it'll create a step. If you create a step, it'll create monsters. If you create a step, it'll create a round. If you create a round, it'll create turns. These are all activated. So let's see where we're at data-wise right now. Let us see how we are doing. We have some games. Let's see, since last week, game G7 was our latest game. All right, we got the game. We have a character. We picked that as part of the flow. We have a quest, Dark Cave of Darkness. Let's look at that. We have quest steps. The first step was created for us. We have 2 monsters in this step. We don't have rounds yet. So let's take a look. It's curious because our round might even just wipe this, or just let's create new. Let's create a new game. See how far it gets. So I can't remember if we left off at the if we enabled the round in the steps, because those flows are active, so they should be working. But you know what's weird? Isn't this supposed to be reversed? I just noticed that. It's like my camera should be flipped. I thought in other episodes I would see y'all in the other direction. That's weird. Hold on. Flip? That seems more right. I wonder why that happened. All right. Well, anyway. Ta-da. Turn that light off too. Jeez, it's so bright in here. Okay, let's look at... Let's just do a new game. We'll start up a brand new one and see how far we get through the data. Here comes our new game. I'm going to call it G8. I'm going to pick a character. I'm going to pick 2 characters. And I'm done adding characters. And there we go. Let's see. How far did we go? Round. Turn. Round turn records. Okay. So I think, how did we do? I think where we ended up is I don't think we stepped through our, I think that was it. We got the turns set up, but did not, we did not set up the players, the heroes, whatever you want to call them, to be part of the round and turns. Pretty sure these are just for monsters right now. Yep, there's our first monster. There's our second monster. So we need to go into our, let's see, that's creating turns. So that'll be our new game quest step turn. New game quest step round turns. I don't know how else to name these besides the cascade that, persists here. So loop our monsters, loop game quest step monsters, loop game characters, and I think, well, add to collection. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if we're adding, are we adding, let's do this. Let's delete the turn from our G8 game. I'm sorry, the round. Let's delete the round. Would be this. Yep. I'm going to delete that. Okay. And then let's run I think we want the whole round, right? We want to do the round. Debug that. So we need the quest step. That's this. Okay. And this is going to generate the round. That's the easy part. And then generating the turns seems like something is missing. So let's step through here. Create turns. Monster. We're just not adding. We're looping the game characters. Are we looping the game characters? I don't think we're getting the game characters. No records here. Okay. Because we're looking for this game. We're looking for the right game. Maybe that's the problem. That is. Let's look. We made an update last week where every item. Oops. Those look about the same, don't they? We made an update where all of the every step in our hierarchy should have a reference to the game itself, so it was a little easier to navigate around. And this does, and it's querying get game character records where we're using the game quest step round, so we would not populate it there. Game quest step round. No, it should know as well about its game. We can reference the game from somewhere else, I suppose, but I would have expected it. It is finding it. Hit points. Oh, hit points greater than 0. Hold on. I don't think we're giving our players any hit points. Nope. That's a problem. They're dead. Not only are they dead, they don't even exist. It's one thing to have 0 hit points. It's another thing to not have any hit point value at all. Sad. Very sad. We're going to fix that. First, I'm going to sit down. Oh! There we go. Drop you all down here. All right, I'm going to try to put... Let's try to put this shade down a little further. It is blazing. That probably didn't help. Oh, okay. That did not help. Oh well. Still just a little shiny today. Excuse me. Okay, so we don't have hit points for our characters. When we create those characters in new game, let's see. We pick our characters. How is the character added? Initial or existing? We're done adding characters. I'm going to create new game characters here. That's in the collection. So somewhere I think we just have to say that they have some hit points. And I'm sure there's going to be some more logic that would tell us how to manage or how to pick those hit points. But for right now, we're just going to go with game character iterator hit points. 50. Sounds good, right? Let's go with 50. And that's going to do it for both of them. Oh, wait, I lied. We want to, if we init new, let me just see here. Character record equals character. Now what's going on there? The name is the name. The record ID. What are we doing there? Something there looks off there. No, that character. What am I? Character iterator record. Character iterator ID equals characters lookup record ID. That's fishy. Oh wait, no, that's the character ID. Oh right. Because we're looping over this, and then we can set the value. I don't know how any of this works. New character name, add character to collection. All right. Oh, right. We have to create the new characters, then loop those. Right. So we're priming the pump up here to have this already. But as we iterate down below, we're going to use the same iterator. Yep. Okay. We're good. Let's init. This is the character, so I don't want that. I want game character here, and let's I'll do hit points here too. 50. Probably want to revisit this. There's some complexity in this. And see, there's something else going on here. This is a good example of like, it's probably worth having some that most of new game is establishing characters right now. So the complexity comes in basically us allowing somebody to create a new character or pick an existing one in the same screen. So what could be fixed, right? Just add another screen, and so maybe the first screen is add new or select existing. And if you click add new, it takes you down an add new path. We get that in, and then we can come back through and then just, select it from there. So this is a good example of, a lot of complexity to support a menial user interface experience. We're trying to do everything on one page. Just probably could split it out to two and let the space between those pages handle some of this logic. So maybe a refactor, at some point to reduce the complexity. I mean, I came in here and I'm like, I don't remember how this works. So that's probably pretty telling of what's going on there. I'm just going to put a note in our README here. Oops. Let's see. New game character selection / create new. Simplify across multiple screens, question mark. Probably. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the link to the latest video in there too. I was a good kid. I did the source control mojo, but forgot to update our README. So I'll have to go. Definitely have some work to do there. That's okay. Okay, so meanwhile, back in our flow, I think we've got all spots. Why is this selecting everything? There we go. So a init character from existing, we give him 50 hit points. Right, that's a init game character. This is super. I'm lost on this. I don't know. This is working, and I don't know why. Not a great sign, right? Init character from existing. So, okay. So we show the list of, we can choose existing characters. These are character records. Okay. How character added. Selected existing selected. Init character from existing. So why are we doing? We're taking the lookup. We've got a character iterator and a game character iterator. I don't understand what I'm doing here. Because don't we just need to? Oh wait, no, we're creating. So we don't want to do this here. We're creating existing characters, right? And over here, we're creating new characters. They all end up in the selected bucket. If we're done, we're done. We create the game. We create any new characters, right, which is in the new characters collection here. We add it to both here and there. And then we come down if the ID is null, because we've got the whole thing. The existing ones have their value. If the ID is null, then we loop. I'm sorry, if the ID is not null, then we loop here. If the ID is null, we loop our new characters. I'm going to stop selecting everything. There we go. We're going to do that here. Game character. Where are you? Game character, iterator, hit points, 50. I'm going to try to juggle my mic. You can hear this going on, and I've got to clear the situation here a little bit. Okay, I don't know if that'll be the last time for that, but a little stuffy. Okay, so let's see. Now with, let's see, default game characters to 50 hit points. That'll have to change. There's going to be way more logic behind all that we'll need to sort out. Okay, activate that one, and then we can make another game. See if we get our other stuff squared away. Debug. This will be G9. All right, how'd we do? G9, game quest, game step, rounds. There we go. Round turns. Okay. Let's see. Let's edit this layout a little bit. Just going to pull that up, and then we can pull these rounds up here. And basically get rid of everything else. Oh, we got to pull in a single related list so we can make it dynamic. There we go. And what do we want to show? Probably the game character, the monster, the sequence, and the status. Yeah, there we go. And we'll sort by sequence, ascending. And we don't want to include these. And really, this whole layout doesn't need to be a header and a sidebar. We can just make this all one region. There we go. Okay. How many do we want to display? You can display up to 30. Let's go with 10. Sounds good. Yep, activate you. You are the app default for YCD on desktop and phone. There we go. Cool. All right, let's go back. Excuse me. Okay, we have two. Oh, we added monsters to all of these. So that is incorrect. So if this was right, we would have, let's see, the first in the sequence is this move or turn. So a monster is going to fight someone. Then a game character would fight something. And then this monster would fight something or someone. And then this character would fight something. So these should be staggered We've got to look into why the monster gets set on all of these. Let's see. Round, turns. Maybe we're just inadvertently, because I did some copy paste here. So is the monster in here somewhere? Actor, game character. Huh. Sequence, actor, game character. That's interesting. We get our game characters. Characters who are not dead. Huh. Loop, game characters, init new, add to. Yep, that's my iterator. So where are these monsters coming in from? Are they coming in because we used the same iterator the second time around? Let's see what they look like. They're all 18. And these would have been created. Yeah, so we created 17, 18, then we did 1, 2. And that should always happen. We ultimately don't care about the sequence, how they're added. We just want to use our sequence randomizer. So I think what happened is the trailing, after we used it for the monsters, it's still holding it in the iterator. I never really thought about this. The iterator is just going to store the last values that it had. So I think we need to come in here and say the new game turn monster equals, I guess we could say empty string, right? I don't know. Is it going to let us do that? Let's try that. Let's see what happens. I never ran into this because I guess I really. What probably would make sense is to just have 2 iterators, but so it goes. Let's just activate that. Debug new game. G10. Just 1 character for now. Well, let's do 2 because I want to make sure that it's kind of spreading them out. All right, let's see how that did. Thor and Merlin. Step. Round. There we go. Okay, cool. All righty then. I was just thinking about, sequence, the interesting thing about that is you could equate sequence like to speed, right, or luck. So if we're thinking about, I've got a character who's got a higher luck number, I guess, then I could use that somehow to determine the sequence. Basically, let them fight sooner in the round, not necessarily going into another round. But that could be something we, again, just looking this date. This is all going to turn into data points at some point, data points and calculations. But for now, all right, we have turns. We are ready to do a fight. So it's kind of like we're playing a step, right? We play step, and we're going to make a couple of... Now, do our monsters have hit points? I guess that's the other side of this equation. They do. Okay, our monsters have hit points. Our characters do, or our characters do not. So let us. I'm sorry. Our character, our heroes have, our game characters have hit points now too. So, excuse me. I guess we could just say play game, right? Because at any given moment, we might say, all right, if you jump in this game, you're playing a turn. We're about to play, or I'm sorry, you're playing a step. So we're about to play a step here. And, at the end of the step, we're going to win some stuff and then play another step potentially. But I think knowing the step that is, that's active is really, it's where the game happens. Everything else is set up around it. So, I don't think we care much about get current turn. I'm going to get rid of this. Let's see. I think we just make a play flow, right? So, because I think that's all of them. So new flow. New flow, screen flow. We're going to need to do something here. Just say play. Okay. Save. YCDRPG. Play. All right, version 59. Cool. Nothing going on here yet. But what we want, let's see, where would we start this from? I guess just from a game, right? So we're gonna know the game ID. Let's assume we know the game ID coming in. We might also know the game. See, I don't think we're gonna know the game quest step ID. I think we're just gonna know the game and then need to go figure out what is the next quest step that is to be played, which I think is just going to be our. Now again, we can find all steps where game equals and status is pending. Kind of don't care about the quests. They're just buckets, containers for stuff. Or to go a step, once we know the step, we know the game. I mean, really, we could even go right down to the round, right? We're going to play the turns as well, or are we? No, I'm like talking myself down the hierarchy here. So everything knows about game. Game's responsibility at that point is to just go get the turn that needs to be played, the pending turn. Yeah. So this is really passing a game ID and then assuming we have turn on our, or we have game on our turns, which we do, then that's that. Okay. So that's kind of it, right? We want to go get get records. We're gonna get turn. Game quest step turn where game equals. We're gonna make a new resource here called call game ID. See, it got dark. There we go. Need a lighting crew. This is going to be just text input. What would this experience look like? I mean, I think you would go to, some dashboard, right, that has pick the game. So here's the other, we got a multiverse situation happening here too. You could play multiple games at once. Not only that, you could play multiple games with the same character, which is kind of crazy. We'll have to see how that works out. But yeah, you could play multiple at the same time. So you got to kind of opt into the game that you're gonna play. You're not just gonna have one going at a time. So my thought is, well, we can show all the games somehow, some funny UI, and then you click one, and then you know what's up. If the game isn't done, right, you could have you're dead, something like that. Okay, anyway, we're gonna pass in the game ID for now. Maybe we'll pass in again object at some point. I don't know, but I've got my turn, and I just want to get where the status is. Still pending. All right. We're going to go happy path here and say that we're going to have a pending game. And if we don't have it, well, I guess we can throw a little bit of logic in that. I don't want to make this overly responsible. I want to finish a turn. And when we get to the end, if we have no more turns, then if we have no more turns and characters are not dead, then we're going to basically create a new round. We're going to call our new round function with what we've got, with whoever we've got left. We're not going to go into crazy metrics mode. I think we could just do some field history tracking if we wanted to see what's the life cycle of a character's hit points throughout a game, or throughout throughout anything, throughout the turn, throughout the round, or really throughout the game, right? Because we could just do it on the game character and see how things go. That may also be useful to say we might want to like drop the current round or the current turn into the onto the record, because maybe do some history tracking, kind of analytic stuff with that too. Here comes the sun again, folks. I'm sorry, I'm going to get all bleached out on you. I'll try turning that off again. Yeah, didn't really help. Okay, so we want the turn that's pending for the game that we're playing, just that one, and that should come back and say, all right, if it's a character turn, then we have to make a decision. If it's a monster turn, we're going to make the decision on the screen for that case. Turn the light back on. Okay, let's do that. So let's assume we get a turn back. We want to see let's see, is it easier to make a couple different screens here, or is it easier to make some conditions within the screen? Because what's going to, on the character side, we have to make a decision, right? On the monster side, we just have to hit the go button, and he's going to decide. He, she, it, I don't know, decides what it's going to do. So we have a little bit of random here as well for the monster side to randomly pick the character they're going to attack. Attack is our only option for right now. So I do think that I'm talking myself into doing two different screens, because I think the experience is just going to be different across the two. So let's get our turn, and then let's make a decision, and we'll say who's the actor. This is, I really should have called it hero. Character? What? Let's see. Get our step. Get our actor. That's the character path. And then this is the monster path. Okay, so the character path. Maybe as we build these, we'll discover that they can kind of mesh together. But on the character path, we are going to... there's one other filter that we need. We need our sequence, right? We're going to order by our sequence, because that tells us, that gave us our, kind of seeded our random right off the bat. All right, so we should get our Next, randomized not done step. Once we have that, if it's a character, what are our options? Well, for right now, we're just going to fight. So we probably should say what character it is. So I need a screen here. This is S3, I think. Play. Let's put some display text out there. And I have no idea how many display text I've got so far. Oops. Okay. Let's pick turn. Character. Character. Name. Turn. Good, good. Nice and big. Big and bold and scary. Okay. Good. Now, what are our options? Well, we're just going to pick a monster to fight. So, what's that going to look like? That's got to be... let's pretend if we... For the duration of this, we don't have our monsters. We don't actually have our monsters yet. We're probably going to save them after each round because they... Well, we might have... do we have to save them after each turn so that... And re-query? We don't want to fight dead monsters. I think that's okay. I think I don't think we need to save them after each turn. I think we can, or even after each round. But at this step, we do need to say we need a filtered list of monsters that are valid to fight, and I think we can do that. So we'll come back to this, right? Filter living monsters, and we need our monsters, to do this. So we need to get, yeah, hold tight. We don't want to do that yet. We want to get our turn, and then we want to get our turn. We do need to get our monsters, right? They are part of the set of monsters that we're fighting, but we also need to be able to act upon them individually because where the hit points are stored are actually on the step monsters. All right, so let's get our step monsters because we could have multiple rounds against those same monsters. Game quest step monsters, yep. Where now we don't have our game. Well, we do have our game quest step though. So do we have our turn? Game quest step equals, we can get our turn. I think that's our turn. Dot game quest step round. Dot game quest step. We can get all places from all places. That's cool. So there's our game quest step. Monster round turn step. Yes, okay. All the monsters for this step. Store all the fields, sure. And that will give us... This is where we're going to be doing the damage on these monsters. Can't save flow. Current item from what? Current item from source collection. What on earth is that? That was weird. What was that about? Was that because of this? Current item. Never seen that before. Current item from source collection variable. What? Okay. Did we create some? What is this here? Current item from source. I'm just going to get rid of that. That was weird. That was really weird. That looked like something that shouldn't have happened. I don't know. We'll pretend like that didn't happen. All right, we got our monsters. Now here's a question. No, I don't want to get them. We need to track the hit points of the monsters. We need to reduce them over time. Monsters are going to die throughout the fight. Die off. Hopefully we kill them all off, because then our characters aren't dead. And we're going to create a filter of living monsters based on our get step monsters. But then we're going to need to update the get step monsters so that we don't lose track of what monsters are living and dying. But we also need to not fight every monster. Or I'm sorry, we also don't want to make every monster be an option in our fight. So maybe what we need to, I wanted to just do a filter. What I wanted to do was filter get step monsters here to those that are just alive. If I then do damage to one of those in the filter, I need to update. Well, that's a good question. It should be the same object, right? This is just a filter of that. Is that a new data source, or is that referencing the same data source? I guess that's what we need to find out. I honestly don't know the answer to that offhand. So we are going to, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. We get step monsters. We're going to do a filter here. So filter living monsters. And that's going to be our get step. And that's where our hit points are greater than 0. Okay. Then in our screen, we know whose turn it is. The next question is like, pick a monster. Right? I probably can just make that the title. I think what we're going to need to do is to create temporary monsters and go back and update the records. Because the other thing I don't think I have here, I'm going to have here, is the name of the monsters is what I would want. So anyway, let's delete that. We're going to do a radio. Let's do a radio pick list. Pick a monster. Gotta pick one. Multiple, no. Choice. New choice. Record choice set. These are actually our Game Quest step monsters. Oh, okay. So maybe this is a better way to go. Maybe we're going to go down this step each time. So we're going to query anyway. This might be a better way to, maybe this is a better way to do this. So we want the Game Quest step to be that thing that we did before. The turn, the round, the step, right? And then the hit points are greater than 0. Okay. Sorted, no. Choice label. So this we're gonna update this. We're gonna need choice value, store more. I'm curious if it's gonna actually show the monster name here. We'll see. I have my doubts. I think it's gonna be a Salesforce ID. But if we need to do that, we can put a formula field on the game quest step monster and just display it that way. We do want to show the name. We might even want to show like some extra data points too. Like maybe we want to show the hit points that are left. So we might have a formula. We're going to have a formula field anyway, maybe a couple of different ones depending on what we need to show. Okay, so I have an error. What error do I have? Oh, this is living step monsters. Okay. Yep. Pick a monster. Done there. And so I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this. Delete. All right, we get our turn. Character turn. Pick a monster. Attack. Let's do like 5 damage, right? I think to these. So whatever was selected. How's that going to work? Do we get... Or do I have to choose that game quest step monster and then reduce that and save that? Good question. It's gonna come back, so it needs to... I think it needs to save, right? So I think we need to update the record. We're gonna update reduce step monster hit points, and then that's going to be let's specify the conditions. Monster whose ID equals the... What did we... Pick a monster. I think that's what we had defined up there as the value. So pick a monster. Oh, but we don't know. Oh, wait. We do know. We can know. We're going to set the hit points. I'm just going to say 0 for the second. That's not what we want it to do, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, back up here with our pick a monster. We can store more fields. So let's put hit points into a new variable called selected monster hit points. There we go. And that will be a number, no decimals. Okay, cool. So we got that now. And that is done, and we'll save that. So I have selected, hypothetically, I've selected a monster. It knows what hero is fighting. We're going to reduce those hit points. First thing we want to do is take our selected monster hit points and let's see, let's just say hit monster. Okay, so that'll take our selected monster hit points and subtract very scientific 5 points for every round. There we go. And then we're going to reduce reduce monster hit points. So we're going to make those hit points be that selected monster hit points that we just set. And then we're going to save that. That should be the end of the turn. Right? That should be it. So we need to end the turn, I believe. Again, thinking very, very simply now. Let's update. Let's see, end. This is an end character turn, right? Well, just end turn. Just end turn. Probably end turn as character might be what we actually need. So we're going to update. Update this turn. I have the record though, don't I? Yeah, I have it from get turn. So from get turn, let's let's save that and then just assign that value. Okay. Do assign set turn status. All right, and turn status equals success. I'm trying to think when a turn's ever going to be a failure. Maybe it's a failure when somebody dies. That could be. But for right now, I think they're just all going to be successes. Okay. That would... Now, here's the fun part. We need to... we need to run this turn again. So I'm just going to go back up to the top from... I guess from here. I guess we can go from here. Connect to... We go back here, right? And we go again. So I think there is a step. There's a screen here, but it's not really doing much. We could probably do like a recap on this. You know, Bob hit Ghost for 10. And then Ghost is dead. Ghost is not dead. I don't know. Let's see. We'll just say done. Show summary stuff. Show turn summary stuff. Okay. So this does become like we that turn is over. So then we're going to go pick the next turn that's pending. And then we're going to do that again. So if this was what we just created, we had a round with 4 turns in it. If we don't, we're not going to have a turn. Eventually, we're going to need to generate a new round. So we have a flow for that, and we'll need to come back, around for that. So let's see if actor. I think what we could do here is maybe change this from actor to, turn type. Right? So we'll say turn type character. That's going to be monster. I think we need another one here that is no turn, right? That is if get turn is null. So under those conditions, we need to create a round. So I'm going to subflow that. Create round. And the game quest step ID is the so we will need to get the game quest step. The current game quest step for this reason, right? Let's see if can I get away with saving that for now? Yeah. So let's get. Right, we need to get game. So we get the game quest step whose game equals game ID. And whose status is pending. And we're going to sort that ascending by sequence. So we get the success, pending, regardless of the quest that we're in. This is the upshot of us not creating whatchamacallit. This is our upshot of us not creating too many quests, too many steps. It's always just kind of building on what's coming up, so we don't have to like sift through a lot of stuff. Even if we did, we could have sequences. So newest at the top, just the first one. That should get us our game quest step. Just save the first record. All right, we do need that. We have that. We're going to create our round with our game quest step ID. Okay. After we do that, we can go back to the turn. I mean, I guess, let's see. Where is this here? Can I remove that connection? Oops. Where do I find that? Let's reroute that. Just all the way to the top. Sure. All right, create round. And then we're going to connect that up here. So we create a round. We run out of turns. We create a round. Bloop. Again, creating a round means we make some assumptions there. So we probably will have to check some other rules. I think what excuse me. I could see a flow, a subflow that returns like the state of the game, right? What round is, what's next or what's current? Because the current turn is X, the current round is Y, Z, A, B, whatever those may be, because that could be responsible for saying, is the game done or not? Is the quest done? I think we're going to be okay if we follow this sequence. What we're going to end up with here is probably a little bit of a pyramid, if you will, of, well, I got no turn. Okay, if you got no turn, we need to create a round. Well, I got no round, or I got no step, got no quest. Right, boop, 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 boop. Go all the way down, but then all roads lead back to get the step that you're, get the turn that we're actually playing. The step we don't care about per se. I'm just starting everything there because it's at the top. It could just go to the turn. Anyway, we create a round that we're going to test a little bit later. I feel pretty good about that. I feel like we're getting some reuse out of the subflows here, and there's a lot of downward dependency. So if I call around, I'm going to get turns. All right, let's look at this monster side of things. How does the monster decide who to attack? Random? Maybe? Weakest? That would be mean. That would be really mean. They sense fear. They whatever. Yeah, that would be, they could fight strongest, they could fight weakest, or they could fight random. And how strongest and weakest are easy, because we need to query those out. I can pull the one with the lowest hit points, basically. We're gonna need our game characters. Yeah, I could pull the game character with the lowest hit points or the highest hit points. If I wanted to do random, we could set a random on the game characters at the start of each. I was gonna say round, but maybe it's even turn. We might have to do it per turn because how else would we know? How else would we do that? And that's fine. We can do that. Anything else would just be like some weird pseudo random thing. Anyway, so yeah. I guess we'll just do that. Now, I guess, do we want to test this? I could pull the set turn status and end turn down, and just have we might as well. Let's start building, right? So I'm actually just gonna copy this. Yeah, maybe this copy. Paste that over here. S4. Not that it really matters. I should go back and name these proper, though. So this is going to be... This is the monster, right? So this is on the turn. The turns, monsters, name. Did I get that right? Yes. Is this DT3? Okay. Oh, we don't need the pick list. Our pick list is going to be replaced by random, pseudo-random, kind of random. We're going to... Let's go with random. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of this. Delete that. And to do that, I would want my... I want to get my... let's get our game characters. What would be maybe a smart flow or invocable to make? I know we're not trying to write Apex, but it might be smart of us to write. So we've got this random number invocable. That's cool. We can loop through stuff and do random with them. We're doing a lot of that, and having to write a bunch of loops, not a ton of fun, right? So if we could have an invocable that took a list of records in and stepped through those records, and if you told it the field that you needed a random value on, then we could fill those and then return them back. It's mostly like a housekeeping thing, right? There's nothing, I'm going to write another loop here. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. The dynamicness of that invocable, though, would be kind of nice because we could say, hey, here's an array of stuff. And now the one challenge, well, it's not really a challenge. You can do generic S objects into invocables, but you need to tell it what they are going in. And that's fine. And then we just tell it basically everything that we tell. We normally would tell the because we're going to basically call this invocable, right? When that happens, and then we're going to we don't really even need to call the invocable. It's a static call, so we can make static call into this each time. But then we need to tell what field to populate. So that good, maybe a good ad in the future. Let's see, new invocable, set random field. Sometimes we call this a sequence field. Sets random/sequence field on a list of records, aka no more, or one less loop. Okay. So something to consider. All right, back over here. We'll do it the boring way. Get game characters. Get our game characters. And our game equals game ID. Probably hit points greater than 0, right? Dead heroes aren't much fun. Excuse me. Okay. Game, hit points greater than 0. Sorting doesn't really matter. We're going to get all the records. And let's save those accordingly. All right. Then we're going to loop game characters. And yep. Let's random get random number. We can do between 0 and 1. We just want to I don't think we have a sequence on our I could just put this right into the assign this right into the value, right into the record. I'm not going to do that right now, but it'll give us one less assignment to do. So let's save that. What we need is on our game character. I'm just going to add a sequence field like we have been. Do 2 is probably fine. 2 is random enough. This is kind of a moment in time field, so I'm not going to put that on the layout. Okay. We got that now. Let's refresh this so we can reference it. All right. And then I'm going to call this set random number because we're not just getting it, we're setting it. And we'll put that in the current sequence. Okay. And then when we're done with that, we're going to update those characters before we get to our next screen. Well, we could, we don't need to save that. Oh, we don't need to save that. We just need to sort that by the random that we just created, right? I think. So if we sort and we so sort game characters by random or by sequence. So we set a sequence on all of those. And we're going to sort now by the sequence in ascending order. And I just want the first one. The collection keeps the first items up to the specified and removes the rest. Now, I think we're going to end up with a collection here. I get to my screen, Zoom out here a little bit. This would just be a little cleaner, you know, with the setting multiple. I'm going to, I sorted, and then I'm going to fight the first one. So how do we get the first, game character? Can we do this? Let's see. I don't think it's going to recognize that that is let's see. Well, let's find out. If we're doing the same thing that we do on the other side here. All right, so we're just going to say hit character. And I don't... No, that's not. That's loop game characters. What about... That's get game characters. What about... Yeah. So see, we don't have sort game character here. So we... How do we do that? Oh man, I'm totally drawing a blank. Like, all right, Salesforce flow, get first element of Salesforce flow, get first element of collection, right? Salesforce flow, get first element of collection. Get first in the what? Collection processors package? Yeah, that's not what I'm after. Filters, filter so that one will still only return a single collection entry. Create a loop for each. Use a connector to exit the loop. Yeah, it's just like not what I want to do. That's Alex. Hey, just use unofficial SF. Nothing wrong with that, and just would love to have a native solution. I still think you're going to end up with a it's interesting because the sort... Let me try to loop the sorted, right? So loop. Yeah, this is not getting me. The collection keeps the first items up to the specified maximum and removes the rest after sorting. Okay. So it's still going to be get game characters, but it's just going to be one of them. And that's fine. But just trying to reference a stupid thing is, is interesting. So let's just try hit character again. I'm curious if I can do it this way. See, it still thinks it's a record collection. So remove. Yeah. So I think we just loop it. It's a loop of one, and then we update it. Silly, but it'll... Could we make a get first invocable? passing a list, just get the first one back. Maybe another one worth building, or get nth, really. Yeah, maybe like first slash nth slash last record. Maybe you pass in -1. That would return the last one for you. That could be useful. We might come back and build a couple of these. In fact, maybe I don't know, should we just build one? Let's build one. This is what invocables are for, right? Like these kind of utilities. They're not, we're able to do a lot of the logic in our game, through our flows, and we try to keep hang tough with that. So okay, let's why not? Let's make a new. Oops, not a new one of those. A new Apex class. This is going to be get nth collection. Get collection item invocable. I don't want to say nth in there. Maybe it is nth though. Get nth collection item invocable. Okay, and so we're going to return. Well, we'll return a list of responses, right? The request is going to be a list of S objects, which are the records, and we'll pass in a integer, which is the index, and the response is going to be just an S object, which is the returned record. Not much else to that. Okay, there's response, and that's kind of how we use it. And get random, no, this is get nth. Sorry, get nth collection item invocable. So yeah, if you're into some code, we'll do a little bit of code. Oh, we're gonna let the cat out first though. Hello, kitty cat. Yeah. You going out? Go ahead. See you later. Okay, yep, stretch right there. There you go. Good job. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Nth item invocable for each of these. Creating a response. We're just going to return the. Let's see. If. This will be a 0 index kind of thing. If r dot index is less than 0, then we're going to return, let's see, responses dot add. That's going to be the last. Can we get that easily? That's going to be r dot records. There isn't a last, huh? Size -1. Right. Otherwise, I honestly wonder if that works just natively. I guess we should go take a look. Right? Maybe it just does it. Apex reference. That's list method index. Oh, that's not what we want. We just want get, right? Get the index, yeah. I was hoping, and maybe it does. I've never tested it before. Why don't we real quick? Let's see what, let's just run a little snippet of code here. I'm genuinely curious now. If you pass it a negative number, will it give you the last one? Or will it just go in reverse, right? So let's grab a list of stings, this strings equals new list string, boop. That's going to be A, B, C. Okay. There's our strings, and then let's just debug a couple of these, right? So strings.get 0, that should get us A, right? Strings.get strings.size -1, that should get us C. So then the magic question is, what does strings.get -1 get us? I would love it if it brought us the last one, because that would be cool. But let us see. What does it do? Execute with currently selected. Unexpected. Oops. Forgot that. Do it again. Yeah. List out of bounds. Okay. So that that's a womp womp for us. Oh well. So we'll do it the way we were planning to do it, right? If the index is less than 0, you can pass me whatever you want. I'm not going to get super fancy for now. If you pass 0 or less than 0, so pass me -1. This is get, by the way. Otherwise, this is get. Just get the index. Okay, that's it. Return responses. We're not generating now. Request response. I think we're done here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff. It's like it's a drop of code. It's just, assuming this works. This is a drop of code. What did I break? Method does not exist. Oh, whoops. Right, we need to write in. Yeah. Let's see. Response. Response equals. Yep. And this is, let's see. Response dot record equals this. Oh, geez, what did I do? Stop it. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, And then let's add that. There we go. Okie dokie. Got it. That should be better. But yeah, if this works, you know, like it's one of these like 3 lines of code versus, you know, some confusing flow. Sometimes you can, just because you can doesn't mean you, what am I doing now? Oh, reponse. That won't work. What else did I mess up here? Illegal conversion from decimal to what? Ah, because we're returning, no. Right. Syntax saves lives. What now? Illegal assignment from on line 6? Oh my goodness. I am blind. Nope, don't. That's not what we wanted you to copy. We wanted you to just copy this right here. Paste that right there. Save that right there. There we go. Okay. These need unit tests, but shh. One of these days when I want to actually do something with this and can't deploy it, and then I'll be writing a whole bunch of unit tests. Write your unit tests, kids. Don't be like Uncle Tom. Okay, we got that. Let's try. I'm gonna close a few things out because I come back over here and there's a whole lot of fields open. I don't remember what we were doing here. Oh, this is, yeah, here's where we were working. So yeah, if we sort that, right, and then we pass that in, it's kind of useless because we've already sorted it and we've limited it down to 1, but we can still get a single variable back as opposed to having to do something, you know, something funky. So let's save this and restart this. Getting a little more complex here, but not horrible. And again, if we did the random on field, that would probably save us a little bit of complexity to at least get rid of this loop here. We technically wouldn't need this either. Well, I guess we would because we want to sort it. But let's get first record. So the object for records is game characters. And the object for the output is also game character. Okay, and the index that we want is the 0th. And the records we want to work on are get game characters. So that should give us the 1 character back that we, let's call this get first game character. All right. And then we'll, let's see, put some display text down here. Monster attacks. Let's see, get first game character, record, character, name, exclamation point. Done. Save. Excuse me. One more snort. Hold on. Okay, that was yeah. Okay, get first game character. We're gonna do the attack, and then we're gonna again just gonna hit for hit for a few points here. Sort of get the point across. Hit character. First game character hit points. Subtract 5 again. Done. And then we're always gonna end the turn. So let's cut this. Put it down there. I think we're always going to set the turn status too, right? So let's cut that, put it down here, and then we're going to save save Dave game character. Save game character. And we're going to update our first first character record. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's I don't think we need this screen at the well, that's our summary screen. We can leave that for a second. I don't want this to happen for right now. I think we will want to create a round, but I think what we're going to do is just shrug here. All right. So S5. I'll just say no more turns. No more turns. Need new round. Let's go with that for now. Okay. And I'm going to take this out. Wish I could deactivate or disable, but not delete. That would be nice. But we'll pull this out for now. I don't want to overcreate like rounds and stuff. Well, let's follow along. Let's see here. Is this our latest game? Yep, G10. And then we're within our quest. Here's our step. And we have a round, and then we have the turns within that round. Okay, so this is going to run, and we're going to expect that game character GC13, which is Thor, should fight first, and we're going to pick a monster, and things are going to happen. I don't think we're really going to like indicate what was attacked, right? You could argue that game character and game quest step monster might be the same object by some magic of abstraction. Maybe we'll get there at some point because they do have a lot of the same stuff going on. But we'll keep them separate for now. But this should go through a round of battle. We don't need new game. I think we're good on those. This is play. So let's debug here and see what happens. There's our game ID. Run. Okay, Thor's turn. Does that make sense? Yes, Thor's turn makes sense. Let's get rid of these two so I'm not confused. Thor's turn makes sense. Pick a monster. Yep, this is what I figured. Let's fix these as we go. All right. Let's get in our monster game quest step monster. And let's get monster name up here. And that'll be text. There we go. And we're going to do that on Step Monster Admin. Put that on the layout is fine. And we'll go back in here and let's close that down and play. We just got to refresh this. At least it picked them. Happy with that. That is on our choice here. Label will be monster name now. Maybe we'll give our monsters goofy names and we can come up with some kind of, I don't know, API call out to a goofy name generator and be able to, you know, give them random names so we can know who they are and come to love them, I guess. Okay, back debug. Get our game back in here. Still Thor's turn. He's got a ghost or a goblin to fight. Let's fight the... Let me find out who's our... which monster is which here. And this is our record. So we would expect this to drop from 20 to 15 after this round. And let's see, where'd you go? Here we go. Nope, here we go. So let's fight the ghost. Next. Done, show summary stuff. And then what would our next... So the next one should be a monster. All right. But first let's check our... Did our monsters' hit points go down? They did. They're down to 15. Okay. Our next round should be monster mode. So we're going to get our game characters and do stuff there. And we're going to tell it who we're attacking. That should be next. Ghost's turn. Monster attacks Thor. Okay. We attack Thor. Let's find Thor. Back in the game. Open up one more of these. Thor has 50 hit points and he should drop down to 45. Okay, done. Summary stuff. 45. Give me 45. We didn't get 45 there. Okay. For some reason, we didn't get 45. I betcha it's because... Did it do the damage to the other game character? Let's see. We didn't hit Merlin, did we? Nope. We just didn't hit anybody. All right, I think we can change the way that value is being updated. Let's see. Can we see what happened there? First game character... There wasn't much... It's curious that there aren't really any values coming back for the game characters. We may need to explicitly pick the fields that we want on that. We set the sequence. So then I'm curious. iteration. So it was YAH. They're both YH. ZCO. ZCO is who we ended up with. ZCO was the first one. And point. See, something's fishy here. So we set those fields. Unless I ordered them backwards. Maybe I did. Sequence ascending. So this doesn't seem to be sequence ascending, though. Because loop game characters, set random number. Output is 0.668. Output is point. The ZCO should be bigger than the ZCP. And then we sorted it ascending. But we still got ZCO back. So maybe, maybe we needed to save those values. I don't know. There's a transaction committed here. Oh, that's just before the screen. So it did get the right. And then a couple other things that were kind of funky here. Oh, equals -5. The hit points of the first game character. Maybe, did I reference that wrong? I think maybe I referenced that wrong. Let's see. Yeah, so this should be get first game character record hit points, right? That should fix that because we have a variable called get. It's called first game character and we're not using it. Okay, so hopefully that's okay. I still don't know about this random. I'm not sure if that's actually working. But all right, summary stuff done. Let's see how we're doing here. 2 finished turns. Let's go to the next turn. That should be Merlin. Merlin's turn. Let's just beat up on this ghost. Next, summary stuff. Where's our ghost? Here he is. He should have 10. Yep, he has 10. And so now we got another monster. Oh, he attacks Thor again. Ooh. He attacks Thor again because this sequencing thing is not working. Yeah, it should have been the first record again. There. Should have been the first record or the second record. So something's not registering there. I have to go back and check that out. But the goblin's going to attack Thor, and then I think we're going to get to a no more turns state here, right? No more turns, need new round. Okay, so we can finish that. How did we do with our round? All success. How are our superheroes? Our superheroes are invincible, taking no damage. Thor is going to get beat up every single round here. And our monsters in this step we should show their hit points here probably. I think that ghost is getting just whumped on. So we could fight the goblin and that would just take him out. All right, so we need a new round. So let's go to our flows. Maybe. I think I lost my flow page here. Let's go to our flows and let's create a new round for this New game quest step round. What do we need to pass you? The game quest step ID. Game quest step. Here we go. Okay, so round 2. Fight. Do-do-do-do. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, the round is not complete. Yeah. That's probably a step we need to put in here. I'm just going to say here, like to do mark round status success. I'm going to do that manually for now. Okay, successful round. Now that should work. Okay, cool. Back over here to our game quest step. Do we have a new round? Yes, we do. And it is pending. And all right, monster, character, monster is going to be the fight sequence. And before we do that, I think we have, I think we corrected the hit point reducer, but our set random is still not having it for us. Maybe it's the way we're setting this. I don't know. Could be. Because when we get the game characters, it's not like referencing anything. So maybe let's try that in this instance, right? I'm going to undo this set manual. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to set sequence. Set game character sequence to random. So our current characters sequence equals this is really going to be get random number now, just to try to keep the naming convention right. Okay, so let's see if that actually does what we are expecting it to. And then when we hit the character, it's that, and then when we save the character, it's that. Okay, so that should be good as well. So, excuse me, back to the game that we are playing. Goblin. It's a monster. Yep, that's Goblin. So he's going to attack Thor again. I don't think our random is really working. I'd love to let Merlin get a shot in here. All right, Merlin's turn. We're going to fight the ghost again. Okay. Thor's turn. We need like a dead state, right? Well, that'll be on the summary. If we can see that, we just need to check to see if the number is less than 0, then we would show that. Okay, so either way, we're going to kill one of these. Let's kill the goblin. All right, that is. Oh, it's Ghost's turn. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting condition. What if you kill the thing before it attacks you? Write that down. Let's see. In a round, what if you kill a monster before it's their turn? We gotta handle that. Let's take a look at our let's take a look at our monsters here. Oh wait, let's go back to our game quest step. Our goblin is dead. Our ghost is almost dead. So we are going to... let's see. We are going to... I think we're also going to kill the ghost now. And... yes. So here's a condition where nothing is alive, right? The round... well, the round is done. The step knows that... where are you? Game quest, game character, game quest. I just want game quest step. Game quest step. Something still has some hit points. Is that true? That still has... the ghost still has 5. The goblin has 0. I don't know how the ghost still has 5. I feel like we've just like been... well, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so the first test here is when we create a new round, does it only get created with the whatchamacallit? What's the word? With one ghost. That would be what we would expect here. So let's create a new round. And same ID. Oh, except we didn't mark it done. Okay, how'd we do? We made a round. Back to our step. New round 6. 3 turns. Okay, cool. That's what we wanted. Sorted. It's going to be Merlin, Thor, or Merlin, Ghost, Thor. We're going to kill the ghost, but we're still going to pretend to play the step because we don't have any logic in here for how to deal with that yet. So if we get to... we need short circuits here, right? If the monster that we're playing is dead, then we're not doing any of this. And we should probably just go down to maybe the screen here, or even just... not even that. I think we just need to go down to set turn status. It's over. We can mark it success, or maybe we can change the status there. But yeah, that's about that. So in our case, it's going to look goofy. But that's... whoops, where'd we go? So we should play game again. It's going to look goofy, but Merlin's turn. All right, good. Only one monster to pick. That's what we were after. Oh. All right, getting warm. Gotta get... can't put my arms down. There. There we go. Okay. All right. Roll up the sleeves here. Gotta get to work. Let us... all right. All right, we're going to kill the ghost. Doot. Ghost is dead. Let us confirm. Ghost is dead. Okay. Now, what's going to happen? Come back up. Gonna get the next turn. It's going to be the ghost of the ghost, trying to attack probably Thor, because we're not getting our rando generator working. Yep, so this should not happen. But let's see if we do damage to Thor, at least. And let's see, what is his game character currently? This is not right. We should change this. GC doesn't make any sense. It should be GQS. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at game character. Back to the game. And let's look at Thor. All right, he's taking damage. Why is he taking damage? Well, he's been taking damage. So I guess that's... Maybe we made that update correctly. He should go down to 35 now. All right, dude, 35. How we doing? 35. Cool. Okay. Now Merlin's going to fight a ghost that's already dead. So Thor, there's no monster. Okay, so this is another condition. If we don't have any monsters, then we're done. Also, so we can handle that here within our turns. So, we got two conditions. We have no more monsters. We won't know that until... We know that on the character screen, but we kind of know it too late. So what we have for our selection, for our choice, is good, except now we need to know about that sooner. We get too far down the path with any of these to check and see if we even have a monster that can fight, right? We do get, I think when we do get turns, the status is pending. We also could say where, the status is pending and well, what we could just look at is to say, all right, if we're talking about the character, is the character referenced dead, right? 0 hit points. If we're talking about the monster, is the monster dead? 0 hit points. And then do we have a filter? This is where it's tricky because it's just this choice set here. I think we're going to need to move this logic into into a query above so that we can check if we have any monsters that are alive. Because if we don't, we should short circuit that other step. So, okay, the first side of this, on the monster side, let's just say, is monster alive? If monster is alive, we'll continue doing the things that we're doing. Otherwise, we will not. Oh, this is turn. Get turn. Game quest step monster. Hit points greater than 0. Okay. If you are alive, then if you are not alive, we're going to send you right down to set turn status. Yeah. So I'll connect you all the way down here. Yep, just bypass the whole thing. We feeling about our complexity scale yet? Think we're still okay, but okay. We have, so that's our monster side. I think we got that taken care of. That's the easy part. Now we need to get we're gonna get living monsters up above here. Oh, not update. So there's our step monsters, and then so they don't have their game, but we do have the game quest step. So game quest step ID. Okay, and hit points greater than 0. Okay, and get all those records. All right, so we have that now. And then let's see. Are there any any living monsters? Question mark. Nope. And then this is get living monsters is null. True. Oh wait. Is living yes is null false. Okay, so we got monsters. If we got monsters, we're gonna do stuff. If we don't got monsters, we're just gonna set the turn status. And so we connect here. Oops. Go to there. Okay, bypass and go. All right. We're just gonna mark them success because not sure how else to do that. And then all right, so that's we handle the no more monsters situation. We handle the no more monsters situation on the monster side, attacking. There's no monster to do the attacking. We handle the no more monsters situation on the character side. There's no monsters to attack. What if all of our characters are dead? So I feel like a couple of these, we might even be able to short circuit a little bit higher, right? If there are no more monsters, this step is over, right? So what we just did there might even be able to move a little bit higher where we've got our, if we're going to get our turn and get our living monsters, I think we're going to make a decision here that says, if we don't have any monsters, get out of here. We're done with this step. This step is over. Go create the next step and move on. If likewise, if our characters are dead, right? So we get our game characters down here. I think we're going to pull this up and see what we've, see what's left to work with. So this is really living game characters. So I think we need to pull this up here, right? Call this living game characters. Okay. So now we can start each turn and say, and again, the turn type here can be no living game characters, no living monsters, character turn, monster turn, right? So we're going to add a couple, right? No living characters. This means that get living game characters is null true. I'm going to pull that one up. No living monsters. These are going to be evaluated in sequence, so living monsters is null true. Okay. No turn. That makes sense. We're not dead yet. Monsters aren't dead, but monsters aren't dead. We have no turn. We need to create a new round. No living characters. Turn failure, round failure, step failure, quest failure, game failure. Right? Those are end game, basically. We need an end game. End game. This might be the only place where this happens, though, right? So I don't know if we end game failure, or fail game, right? Fail game equals. Let's see. What do we say? Turn fail. Turn, round, step, quest, game, stat. Equal failure. So we go all the way up the food chain to do that. That's going to happen at any time. Either you win or at some point, that happens. With that sound. Okay, see how much brighter we thought it was in here? Now it's nice and dark. Light casts. 2 lights. Okay. So that would be a fail game over situation. We can determine that right from our turn here. No living monsters equals, what does that equal? Round over, let's see. No living game characters. Cannot spell. Characters equals fail game, which means these things. Failure status on all of these. No living monsters equals, let's see, success. What do we do with the turns? What do you do with pending turns at that point? Do you just get rid of them? We could just delete remaining turns because there's nothing to do, right? So equals delete pending turns, round success, and create new step. Right? I think. There's some interestingness around, like, well, should I create a new step, right? We have to decide where does that logic live? Where does, create new step logic live? It could live in the create new step thing, right? If we don't have a step to make, it means that the quest is over. This is like our success criteria, right? Our quest might be over. Might be time for a new quest. Quest has to decide if there's a new quest, and if so, I think that's the food chain back up the other way. So I don't think I would make rounds be responsible for that. Excuse me. I don't think I would make a round responsible for that, because it's like once the round is done and the quest and the step is over, um, we can tell it that in the context of our fight, right? Step is a fight, basically. Um, what else do we need to do if there's no more living monsters? Round success, create new step. We need to assign experience points. I mean, got to do that. That's what the whole point is. Like collect rewards, gold, weapons, armor, that kind of stuff. Probably just gold to start. And create new step. I think we would call that and let it decide, should I create a new step? I need to consult with my quest. And if quest says yes, you can, then I'll create a new step. If quest says no, then quest is going to say I need to go consult with game, and game will tell me if there's a new quest or not. But yeah. What's our other conditions here? We have no turn. No turn equals. No turn. If we've gotten to this point, right? We still have game characters. We still have monsters. We need a round. So I think that's a safe action to put back in there. Oh, it's a subflow. Wait. Right. So we're going to create a new round. New game quest step turn round. Create round. We go. Game quest step ID is get game quest step .id. Okay, so we got that square. Because if it falls through those other filters, that has to happen. And then I think we're back. We don't really need any living monsters because we have them. In the case of a character, what we don't know is this last one. We don't know if the we won't know at this point unless we make some adjustments if the monster that just died, which would be, we could determine it here, I guess. If that monster dies, should we delete we probably should just delete the turns, right? So when monster dies, delete pending turns assigned to monster. I think that makes sense. I don't see turns as like super sacred. It's like a plan, right? And then if we don't complete the tasks because there's no reason to complete them, it's not like project management. We're not going to measure the success of the turns or not. They just don't happen. So I think it's okay to wipe them out. Honestly, like the round kind of doesn't matter after it's over. The step kind of doesn't matter after it's over. It might be useful to keep the step because then you could kind of see like, well, how'd you do, right? How far did you get? What happened along the way? Stuff like that could be, we could do some stuff like that. I'm going to keep the step, the rounds and turns for now. Maybe we'll discover something that's useful to keep them for a long term. But, we're not going to introduce like we want to get really crazy and have some kind of transaction, right, object that would say how many hit points were lost or other metrics that were, part of that turn. Maybe we'll see. We don't have to go there right now. Okay, so when a monster dies, so we hit the monster, reduce the hit points. I think we could just say that right here, right? We could say, is monster dead? Right? If the monster is dead, that is that is our game quest. Wait. Oh wait, what is that now? We have to also adjust this. This is now incorrect. We need to do a new choice resource. This is going to be collection, right? So this is living monsters choices. And let's get living monsters. We'll still use the monster name. The choice will be the ID. I think we're still good there. I think everything else still flows down. Okay. There. I think everything still flows downhill, right? Or downstream. Yes. Okay. Selected monster hit points. Right. And then reduce. That's the ID from Pick a Monster. We don't actually know. Oh, yeah, we do. We know the selected hit points. And we're just going to reduce that, right? Selected hit points, subtract 5. So the monster is dead if that number is less than 0. So, all right, back to this. Is monster... I'll just say monster dead. Monster dead, yes. So the selected monster hit points less than or equal to 0. Monster is dead. Monster not dead. Don't do anything. Now we're going... So if the monster's dead, we're going to delete some stuff. All right, we're going to delete the pending turns. Delete records. Delete pending monster turns. Specify turn. Oops. Step around turn where game quest monster equals... Where's pick a monster? Equals pick a monster and status pending. Because we are picking get living monsters. Yep. Get living monsters is our step monsters. Cool. All right, we delete those and we don't have anything, we don't have any turns to work through. Bunch up, find the next one. The whole system remains happy with our behavior. We could, could we? This is going to be the same condition, but I don't want to run the rest of this process. I would want to say, let's see, is the monster This is confusing, right? Is the monster dead? Yes. Is the monster alive? Yes. Okay. The monster isn't alive. This shouldn't happen anymore, right? Because we're going to ensure that that gets cleaned up over here, right? My character scenario, if they kill a monster, is going to wipe out the possibility of a dead monster fighting. So I think this condition goes away, actually. Right? We delete this. We leave the yes path, right? Boo-doo-doo. So that gets a little cleaner. The trade-off is we're going to need to do the same thing here, right? Is our character dead? We'll have to do the same, the same scenario. We could pull this loop up. It might make it cheaper, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. We only need to do it when we're fighting a monster. Still got to figure out what's the sitch with the random there. Okay, so we'd have to do the same thing here. All right, oops. This is a decision. Is character dead? The character is dead when the first where'd you go? Where's the variable? Get first game character record hit points less than or equal to 0. I think that's what we've been using the whole time. Yes. Okay. So then we do the same thing, right? We delete pending character turns. Step around turn where game character equals get first game character equals this ID and status is still pending. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's a turn. It doesn't look bad. It's not too intimidating, right? 5 conditions for a turn. It's either a character's turn or a monster's turn. We might have run out of turns and we need a new round because all the monsters aren't. There are still monsters alive and characters alive. If we have no more characters alive, we are sad because the game is over. If we have no more monsters alive, we are happy because the round and the step are over. And we still have things to do in each of these cases. But this is it. This is the battle, the battle view right here. This is not complete, but largely and has a couple bugs, but is responsible for. It's responsible for making the game run until there's nothing else to run. So we'll see what happens on the left-hand side here. There are soar underestimations of things like how much damage does this do? How many hit points does this take? But the good news is it shouldn't be too tough to just like plug in subflows or actions, invocables, to do those things, right? So to say, what we're saying in all cases here is like hit monster for 5, hit character for 5. These will need to change, right? There'll probably be a subflow or an apex action invocable in front of each of these to say, well, what are you hitting, right? We know what are our variables to hit. Character of the game character, the level of the game character, the weapon that they have, the probably some other stuff, right? Plenty of other stuff could go into that. But we might start by saying, maybe the next step is let's introduce weapons, right? So a sword is stronger than a stick. Stick does 1 damage, sword does 5. So if Thor has a hammer. So we'll say hammer does, I don't know, 6. Uh, Gandalf, not Gandalf, Merlin has a stick. So when he fights, he's not very strong. When he magics, he's strong. But we're not doing magic yet. But that's the whole. It's really interesting that like the whole essence of the battle damage can come down to this one field. And again, not to undermine it. There's something that's going to sit in front of this that's going to take the game character that's fighting, the monster that's being attacked, try to weigh like I got a character that's level 4 and is carrying a big hammer, and I've got a monster that's level 3, and maybe they have weapons, maybe they don't, I don't know, but it's level 3, and this adds up to 6 times. Bad dumb math, right? Weapon equals damage equals 6, level equals 3. Multiply the two together, 18, I guess. Monsters level 3, defense is default defense is 3, so defense is 3 times 3 is 9. Something like that. We'll get into some of the tuning, right? Of like how fair is this whole thing, and got to get that random fixed. So something that could be interesting is like, we talked earlier, like, should the monster attack the strongest, the weakest, or the randomest character? That could be kind of like an aspect of the monster, right? In terms of like how it fights. So maybe there's like we could think about that, like monster disposition. Attack. In our case, it's like attack strongest / weakest / randomest. Random is more like random could be how far away. Maybe random represents distance between a monster and a character. Maybe there's a place where we just set the random sequence at that might actually, I kind of like that now that we're talking about this. When a character's move is over, or maybe after a character is attacked. Maybe that's one way to look at it. When a character is attacked, change the sequence, right? Update their sequence. Kind of throws like the random at them. And there might be some other randoms that we want to throw, like when you so I'm thinking Darkest Dungeon style here, right? Like when you attack and it's successful, you get like a mood boost, right? When you attack and you kill something, you get a bigger mood boost. When you attack, when you get attacked mood drop. Attack with a critical hit, big mood drop, stuff like that. So let's think about, I guess, mental buffs. Attack equals +1. Attack or critical equals +2. Attack dead equals +3. Take damage. Damage equals -1. Critical damage equals -2. Dead is obviously dead. That's not, that's not great. So, and then those could have a little bit of, bring some boost into the random as well. So your luck. This is almost a luck factor, right? It's like luck in the turn or in the round, in the step. We could apply these based on what the outcome is. I think there's there's attack outcomes, right? We've got, you hit, you critical, you miss / dodge, right? It could be enemy dodge. You could miss because you suck. A miss is a miss. Like, I don't, we don't have to get into that too much. And that's probably it, right? You either hit, you miss, or I'm thinking, I guess you kill, right? So those are sort of the attack outcomes. A miss, it's a dodge or it's a defend, right? So we have to think about how these, maybe how does a defense, oh my goodness, how does defense, kick in? There's this math, right, that maybe we'll get into on the next episode to just figure out how's this going to work. But yeah, we've got, and again, there's some bigger things to figure out over here. We need to create a new. Maybe it's not a big thing to figure out. If we have no living monsters, the step is over. We need to create a new step, right? If there is a step to be created, I guess that's the. That would be the next, the next piece. So, if there's no living monsters, we set this step. We're going to update this step to success. If there's no living characters, we're going to update this step to failure. So let's, I guess let's do a little bit of this, right? We're going to update set step to success. So our step, oh wait, we're going to specify conditions, yeah. Well, actually, I guess we can just use that, right? Our step, nope. All field values. I haven't set that anywhere else, so I'm just going to do it like this. Game quest step, whose ID equals our game quest step. We're just going to set the status to success. And let's copy this because we're going to set step to failure. Status is failure. Okay. we have to determine. So let's keep going down the. All right, if a step is over, do I need another step, or is the quest over? We probably want something like. Let's see what we've got to work with. Our quests. Let's look here. Our game quests, right? That's what we're looking for. Steps. So we have steps. Our game quest steps get a sequence. So if we could add to game quest step, right? First of all, I'm going to update that stupid naming convention or auto ID on that. Game quest step. Where are you? Name. G. Quest step. That's better. Yep. I think we could just say is last step, right? Have a formula. Is last quest step. Question mark. Is last quest step, and that is a Boolean. If the sequence equals the quest's steps. All right, that makes it kind of easy. We're looking at game quest step. Dude. Kind of easy, right? So then we could go back over here and we look at our flow. This is done, I think. Let's refresh this. So we get our step, and then the question is, do we create next step? The answer is yes if our step if this is false, we create a new step. If it's not false, right, so if we're going to do that, then we're going to subflow again, and this is new game quest step. New step. Game quest ID. That's going to be our game quest step dot game quest. There we go. Okay. When we do that, I'll say after we do that, right? After we do create round, we have to connect back up to the start. After we create new step, we have to connect back up to the start of this. If we don't if we're not supposed to create a new step, that means the quest is over, right? And we can set the quest to success. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's update set quest to success. Game quest. Whose ID equals, we can get that from our step, right? Game quest, yep. Status equals success. And then what we don't have right now, we only have one quest. Well, we have multiple quests, but oh wait, no, we do have. Is that logic contained within? Hold the phone. We might have some of this logic in a couple of our flows already. So new game quest step, or new game quest. Let's open this up. Get game, get latest game quest. Does it have a latest quest? Yes or no? Get the next quest, generate, do stuff. So this would do it, except we need some kind of output that says we may need to look at these a little more linearly because it feels like some of our logic is moving, is moving up here, which I don't think is bad. And we can be a little bit more confident, right, in our subflows, just doing what they need to do, not having a whole lot of logic built into them. We can let this, again, this is more like the engine, and those are just sort of like functions within it, dictate when and where to create stuff. It's all just a cascade, you know. We can look here and say, hey, you know, do I need to create a new step? I can tell by, you know, based on the thing. Maybe we can do the same thing for quests, right? If a game, if we know the number of quests that are in the game when it's created, then put that in there, and we can, you know, then we can use that as a in the same way. You know, this quest is, you know, quest number or sequence 2, and this is the last quest. There's no more quests to make. If there's no more quests to make, you win the game. Right. On the flip side of this, we're going to set the step to failure. We have to set the quest to failure. So let's change this. Set quest to failure. Quest to failure. Doot. And then we actually have to set game, right, to failure too. Sad trombone. Let's do that while we're here. Right, a little bit of housekeeping action here. When this is done, after that fires, I think we're going to have a couple more screens at the bottom here. That's like, you know, win, lose. That's probably it, right? Or maybe we have a variable that's like, you know, the end game, you know, win, lose, because those are really the last two screens that we care about. There's going to be more stuff in here, but I think, you know, we have sort of kind of some stages to the, you know, sort of deciding what's going to happen, kind of attack phase, you know, loop. If you're outside of the loop, you're, you know, there's a condition where you're kind of still in the loop, but you take an extra step because you've won the turn, and we could check the success of the turn for that. And then you could check for the really the outcomes here are you've lost. The outcomes here are, if you're if you're good here, then you're going to get to a win state at some point. Otherwise, everything else is going to be make stuff to continue the game. So, I mean, yeah, let's fix this thing. Cannot read that. This is set game to failure, right? Just game. Where ID equals game quest step, game ID, and status is failure. So we're setting the statuses. We still need the end game screens after success or fail. I guess victory is probably a better word than success, but that's okay. All right. Yeah, not bad. So we got ourselves a little bit of a battle engine here. Game engine, I guess, even you could say. Like we're gonna I could start this whole thing off with the game, the new game, right? If and that could be an outcome of if there's no step, right? If I don't have a step, I probably don't have a game to play. So we could go to down the new game path and set that up. Could also just route out to that flow and then route back into this flow. This is really the flow that should be at the end of new game now, so that can perpetuate. And yeah, no, this is pretty good. I feel really good about this. I wasn't sure how far we're gonna get. I know it's super simple. Like we're gonna work on the mechanics, the nuances of the game, like the attack, logic. That's where math is just going to kind of start compounding. We'll figure out a little bit of some algorithms around that, test them, tune them, tweak them, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll go from there. It'd be kind of curious to have like a it's probably like a headless version of this that could run, so you could sort of bypass the screens and just like do random or something like that. But I say that because it would be kind of neat to see like, well, let's set some robots up to play 10,000 games and see how how does our logic hold up. There are other things out there we haven't talked about at all, like experience levels. Like how do you what's level 1, right? Like I'm probably going to take a really dumb approach to this and just say, okay, it's going to be, the first one's 100, the second one's 200, the third one's, I don't know, is it a doubling? Is it linear? There's probably a whole bunch of tuning to do around that too. But and then right? Like how about the fact that a character can be in multiple games at the same time? I don't know. A lot of ways that we could do that one. Shared inventory, doubling, like multiplying effect on experience points and stuff like that. That could be fun. In the meantime, let's get our code. Still have to figure out that random thing too. Random. Oh, right. Random sequence isn't working. But maybe that becomes part of game or turn outcome, right? I guess I'm trying to think Final Fantasy style, like did it go top to bottom every time? Like, was it very linear? You know, your first guy, your first character, second character, third character, fourth character, always go that way? I don't remember. I have to play it and see. But we've already got it random, right? It randomly generates what the turns, how the turns are going to play. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that's probably about as good as it. Yeah, that's what we'll go with for now. Let's pull our changes from the org so we can update our repo. There we go. What have we got? Got a bunch of stuff. This is going to be episode 4, and we will push that to episode 4. Run it all. Yep. All right, remote branch up. I have to do some work on the README. This is definitely like 2 episodes out of date now, so we'll update the object model and this whole, the flows and the invocables. A lot of stuff. Made a lot of progress today. Battle engine is very close to operational. Probably needs some testing down those other paths, but feels pretty good. So we'll do a show next week. Yeah, it's Tuesday, Thanksgiving. It's a little bit of a weird week, but it'll be a Tuesday afternoon. So we'll do one more show before the holidays, and then we'll see how the holidays themselves go, and go from there. Also thinking maybe there's a different day for the show. A couple folks have said like, "Hey, could you do? I can't watch at this time. Maybe I could watch on a Thursday morning or a Friday morning or something like that." So I was wondering if maybe like a Fridays like 11 to 2 or something like that could be an option. So we'll see. But until then, thanks for coming. I'm Tom, and you can't do that on Salesforce. See ya.